So after many questions about my van and a few requests to do a video on my van, I have decided to do just that. So you won't have to see my face for too long because I'm going to show you first of all where we are, and then I'll show you all the van, and this is the last you'll see of my face. So this is where I am. This is Embalse de Mediano, just south of Aínsa, a mountain biking mecca out here in northern Spain. And there is my van. So this is a 2010 VW Crafter. It's the long wheelbase, not the extra long. It's about 7 meters, and I believe it's just the high roof, not the extra high. This used to be a minibus. I believe it was a minibus for Glasgow City Council. You still see these cutting about on the West End, taking kids to and from school. I've given it a clean today, but she's an honest van. That side door is clearly needing replaced. That's something I need to do sometime soon. So for those of you that don't know too much about these vans, this is a VW Crafter, but it's essentially a Mercedes Sprinter. The body, loads of the electrics, the components, they're all made by Mercedes. However, I've obviously just got a slightly different front on it. The main difference being the engines. This one is the 2.5 5-cylinder TDI, so it's a diesel engine. This one has been remapped to put out 165 horsepower, which I believe is a spec that they had out of the factory as well. It goes really well. It's rear-wheel drive, it's a longitudinally mounted engine. I'm really happy with how this thing gets down the road. Despite it looking a bit rough, it actually drives really, really well. Something the previous owner had done was get all the windows tinted. I think that's about as dark a tint as you can get. It's quite good because you can see out but people can't see in so easy. All the general benefits from having tinted windows. Right, before I show you inside, I will see if I can show you the solar panel I've put on the roof. I'm assuming that you can see a solar panel just now. That's a Renogy 320 watt solar panel. And we've got 2 roof lights on as well, a clear one at the front and a blank one at the back. Did you see that? Right, before I show you the inside, I just want to make a caveat about how much time I had. I had 7 days to fit out the inside, and that was over the Christmas holidays when all the shops were shut. So I had to preemptively buy everything I thought I'd need, and I basically had no other options after that. So bear that in mind. This is because I went to get the timing belt done just at the end of November. And through various different reasons, it took a month to get it done due to bad weather, scheduling, parts arriving wrong, stuff like that. So I did have about 4 or 5 weeks to do the work set aside, but I only had actually 7 days when it came down to it. So bear that all in mind. So I actually managed to get the basic shell done before the timing belt was done, and I had done that right. I stripped it all out. Treated any rust patches, which thankfully were all just very superficial surface rust. I used all Dodo Mat products. I started off with the panel sound deadening, just these little strips, these little bitumen strips to put on. It takes the vibration out of the panels. Then I put the more heavy duty foam and foil based insulation, got that to every nook and cranny I could, and then finally finished it off with the kind of recycled plastic bottle glass wool type insulation on top of all that. Managed to do the floor in a similar manner using Dodo Mat foam stuff, and then I got the plywood panels on and the carpet on top of that. So I got all that done. So in we go. Just now I have 3 bikes in. I've got my 2 bikes here and my girlfriend's bike tucked in the back. Girlfriend's bike is tiny, so it kind of fits in along, and then we managed to get the wheels in here as well. I just made little cradles to hold these. But I probably, more long term, will just have this set up for 2 bikes so the bikes can come in a bit closer to each other and there's a bit more space down either side. I've got a kind of bulkhead up here, which the bed is behind. I intend on making this full height in the future and actually having the wheels mounted onto that through the axles. And then the helmets and bags and stuff I will then have on the back of these doors once I get these panelled out. This is the insulation I was talking about, and there's the other insulation. So yeah, I'll have this solid panelled and all my other stuff in there, and then the wheels up the top. The bed is basically built upon these 2 side units, not that you can see it very well here, but they go right down through there, and I have numerous little ducats to keep my kit in. So I've got my bike and stuff at the back, stuff we use less in the middle, and then stuff we use from the front, nearer the front. And now for a quick look inside through the rusty door. Here we go. I'll close the door to keep the traffic noise out. Stick a light on maybe. So looking back, can we see that? Yeah. So you can see I've got the sides and the ceiling all carpeted. I am yet to do a little strip. I'm going to put a strip on here to take more lights and kind of finish it off in a neat way. But that's basically where I've run the wires for the solar panel at the moment. Main feature, of course, is the over garage. The over garage bed. This is a full size bed, so it's a double bed. It's our double mattress from our house. We'll be getting a new mattress for the house when we get back. But I really wanted to make sure that it had enough space and enough comfort while sleeping. Obviously, sleeping is like pretty damn important, and when you're away, it's no different. So I'm glad that we went for the full size bed. The bulkhead at the back I would like to make full height all the way up to the ceiling, just to separate the living space from the garage space a little bit more. You can see we've got a roof light up above as well. It's like directly above, so it works really well for just a bit of ventilation or seeing the stars at night and stuff like that. The windows, you can see, are not the full height that they are outside. So from the outside it gives the illusion that we have these full height windows, but I've actually framed them out just to be these strips here. And I like the fact that I've made this the height of the bed. So it lets enough light in, and when you're like driving you can see out them and stuff like that. And that's really quite handy. Down the sides of the beds I've got enough space here for storing stuff. I will be adding some USB ports up there to charge phones and that, which I do not have at the moment. We've got a very basic curtains here, just blackout curtains off of Amazon. These will be getting built in more to the recesses of the windows, and that's true for all the windows here. Yep, so that's the bed area. Really quite happy with that, to be honest. I actually have done this using proper bed slats as well. There's actually a table above that. Proper bed slats and a good solid mid-beam from IKEA, of all places. That's where most people get their stuff for campervans. There you can see Alix's bike, and then all the storage off to either side. And this storage here is like my clothes that I can access from the front. Same with Alix on that side. And then coming forwards, we have a unit here next to the kitchen and a unit on the other side, both of which have access into the top. So I've made it like 100mm deep here where we can store stuff. This is all our teas and coffees and stuff that you would like to add to food or for cleaning up or whatever is all on this side. And then on this side it's more kind of toiletries. We've got some AG1 and the kettle and stuff. So basically stuff that we want to access quickly and easily and be able to see. Going down below that, we've just got more ducats with some kind of upstands here so that stuff doesn't fly out. So we've got pots and pans, cutlery, food. Similar on the other side. I had to use different ply because I ran out and I couldn't get any more because it's Christmas holidays. And then finally we have a Dometic fridge. This is actually only runs off of 12 volt, nothing else. So it's exclusively off electric, and I like that because it means you don't need to worry about getting gas when you're abroad, which can be quite awkward as every country uses different standards. Speaking of gas, moving on to the front here, we have a Dometic kitchen and hob setup. This actually came with the van, not built in, but the guy had bought stuff for a T5, as well as a rock and roll bed and all kinds of stuff. So I've utilised that. We've got the gas in there, got a spare one there, we haven't used the first one yet, and then we've got the grey and the fresh water in there as well. This I will be changing completely to make taller, make it a bit deeper, more worktop space, and so that we can actually get more permanent solutions for fresh water and grey water that I can fill and empty from the outside. Then looking forwards, you can see we've got a captain seat on the passenger side. Again, that was done before I got this van, so that's quite helpful. I would like to also make the driver's side a swivel seat as well, and that kind of opens the front up. It just makes the whole area feel much bigger. We've also got an upgraded head unit, so we've got the reverse camera built into the screen there. I don't generally need it, but it's really helpful just to see the distance off the back of things. I can reverse around corners and all that kind of stuff, parallel park, but for the distance off the back of this thing, it's really handy to have the reverse camera. Sorry, I forgot one thing. I've got a toilet in here as well. This is not the setup that I wanted, but I didn't have time to buy runners or get proper catches, so just take this little thing out here. And we've got a Thetford toilet that pulls out there as well. So under the seat here we have more storage, plenty of storage. We've got noodles and blankets and stuff, and then we have the fuse box for the fridge and the water pump and the lights and stuff like that. So everything that the van runs off of from 12 volt is connected to this, and then this is connected to this all-in-one unit, which we can't really see properly. This is a Bluetti or a Bluetooth AC 200 Max, and if you look through the opening here, which I've left, we have a 100 watt USB-C charger. I use that for the laptop. We have 4 domestic mains supplies. We can go up to 2000 watts using all these, and our storage is 2048 watt hours. I've got 12 volt cigarette lighter plugged in there, but this is the 30 amp RV plug, which I have looped round, and that's what basically the van runs off. It's a fantastic system, and I'm actually really pleased with how this is working. We've got our wires coming in from the solar, and they connect into this. The solar panel's 320 watts max power, so loads of power going in. And then when we're driving, move this seat forward. When we're driving, I use this Victron voltage booster. So this takes the 12 volts that come off the alternator and boosts it up to 28 volts. And that results in about 280 watts of power coming in to charge this battery bank when we're driving. And yeah, between the solar and the alternator, this thing charges up super quick, and we easily replenish any electricity that we have used overnight. And that includes coffee making, like milk frothers and Alix's hair straighteners and stuff like that. Not a problem for this setup. So the final thing that I will be putting in through here is some air ducts for the diesel heater. This thing does have an Ebike diesel heater built in from factory, but it doesn't work just now, and that's one of the things that I could not get fixed whilst I was getting the timing belt done, so that is something for the future. At this moment in time, we've just been using the hob to heat the van back up in the morning if it's been cold overnight. Not ideal, but it does work. So with the Instagram generation now, you're probably used to seeing tens of thousands of pounds worth of camper vans with tiled kitchens and showers with, yeah, all the amazing fancy stuff. You don't need that. You don't need that. And let's face it, most of us don't have the bloody money to be doing stuff like that. So I think that this van is like a relatively good representation of what most of us can and will do. My motto this year is don't let the perfect get in the way of the good, because we can't achieve perfection, most of us. And whilst this van is a little bit rough and ready and whatnot, and it doesn't have all the amazing mod cons inside it, it does the job that I want it to do. It's comfortable, it's spacious, I've set it out the way that it works for me. I've got my bikes in there, I've got a fridge that keeps, you know, good food fresh. I've got a toilet, which is super helpful. Definitely need a toilet regardless. Don't be one of those people that uses laybys. And yeah, I can tweak little bits and pieces here and there in the future, and a lot of these things I can take out of this van and put into a better van when this one dies. But I have a feeling that because I went for the good engine and it only had 96,000 miles when I got it, or 93,000 miles, it's going to last me a very, very long time.